Hello and welcome back to Nerddom. My name is Matt. Thank you so much for joining me today. And yes, the Daredevil Born Again show has completed. I just finished it last night and man, it hurts. It hurts seeing this show kind of waste your time. I really do think it was a detriment to try to reuse all that old footage from their other show into this one. And it, like I said in the last episode, it's a big horseshoe. This should have been episode 3. And yes, we are going to be getting into episode 9 of Daredevil Born Again. So spoilers up ahead, but also the entire rest of the show. You've been warned. And I am really trying, you guys. I am really trying to separate this show from the Netflix show. It's a different thing. And I'm trying to feel like I'm trying to take it a different way. But the show itself wants you to remember seasons 1, 2, 3 on Netflix, now on Disney+. So in that regard, you do get to put it next to those show seasons in comparison of quality of writing, action, cinematography, everything. And again, this may be the worst season of Daredevil for 2 reasons. One, because the Daredevil Netflix show is held in such high regard. It is one of my top 5 shows out there. So living up to those expectations and living up to what those creators did, it's going to be a tough order. And number 2, they had to reuse, or they had to somehow fold in all of that work that they did before for this other show that was meant to be something completely different. So a couple of my critiques are the writing. Whenever someone does an action and other characters ask them why they did that action, and the character's best excuse is, I don't know what you mean about that story either. When Matt throws himself in front of the bullet, I'm trying to think of the reason why. I guess other than the obvious of that he is a hero and he is going to save lives, or save Fisk's life in the least. But what happened because he did that? He got put into the hospital. Fisk then sent a person after him, and then Fisk ripped the dude's head open, the police commissioner, which, by the way, may have been one of the most brutal things I've seen. It may be the most brutal thing I've ever seen in a comic book show. God damn, I thought he was gonna squish his head like Game of Thrones, but that rip and break, props to the props team. Props to the props team and everybody else. That was awesome. I saw it in slow motion and it is disgusting, dude. Disgusting. But in any case, you cannot cover up weak writing with blood and guts. And that's kind of what I feel is happening in episode 9. I get it, Matt's a good guy, he doesn't want anybody to die, and he's yelling at, Frank the entire time, trying to get him not to kill people, but Frank is putting a dude's head on a countertop and then blasting him through the countertop. And shooting a dude's like, dude, another brutal one was the shot through the back of the neck. God, it's so brutal. Fudge. And it just seems like they argue for the sake of keeping that relationship as more of a conflict, but like it's a friendly conflict kind of. Like I don't know if Matt is co-signing what Frank is doing, but Frank just brutalized and he killed even more terrible cops later on when he turned himself in. I don't know. The writing is not my cup of tea. All the writing and the story itself. If the end point of the story was to basically make Wilson Fisk a dictator-in-chief of New York City, and now it's martial law and his crazy police force is a militarized unit, basically shutting down the entire city, it's almost like Punisher Warzone, kind of, right? So now it's going to be kind of like Matt and the whole team is a resistance army inside of this, like I said, lockdown, militarized dictatorship. inside of New York City. So having to deal with that, it reminds me too of No Man's Land from Batman, after an earthquake happens and it's like a criminalized world, and yeah, after a catastrophe type of thing. I thought they were going to turn the lights off forever when we were watching this episode, but it didn't happen. The lights came back on, and they did it just to have chaos, basically. It just feels, the entire season and even this episode just feels sloppy. The action, yeah, was cool, and the brutalization of these bad cops, these terrible cops, was was insane too. And then they save the one guy. Matt saves the one guy. I don't know, man. And then yeah, Frank's just like, "Oh, about that guy," and he shoots him. I'm like, yeah, why not that guy? Why is this guy so important compared to, he just killed 15 other terrible cops? Why is this one worth keeping? It's not like you're going to be questioning him. Did he even question him? No, he smacked him with his baton, and that's it. So there's really no reason to keep him alive, and you've already co-signed a bunch of other death, but, you know, Karen had no one else to call, basically. And that is the reveal, is that Karen heard about Bullseye getting out of prison. She jumped on a plane and called Frank. That's what happened. And immediately the show feels different. The chemistry between these two characters is off the charts. Deborah Ann Wall, Charlie Cox, even, I almost called him Frank Grillo. He's not Frank Grillo. John Bernthal. Even John Bernthal has some type of, you know, bonding with these other characters, with these other actors. The chemistry between them all is a lot different. And again, this is coming from someone who, yes, did like the Daredevil show. So I am trying to put all that aside too, and just take it as if this is a brand new show. And you can tell that the delivery and the, like I said, the chemistry between them, it is just different. And like I said, I'm putting aside what my thoughts are on the old show and my feelings on that one. So it's just a different setup. So the love interest of this entire season, Heather, it hasn't felt right. And it didn't feel right. I don't even need to have Karen and Matt hook up. I don't. I just need a more built out relationship than what we got with Heather and Matt. The show basically said, oh hey, here's Heather, this is your new love interest, and Matt's like, sounds good. Versus Karen and Matt go through some things, and you see the transformation and you see the building of that stuff. It's a lot different. So it makes more sense that they would fall back in with each other, and she would kind of reminisce on a bunch of stuff, and so would he. And he really does have the feelings for her still. I mean, yeah, no thoughts on his current girlfriend, but and he even messes up too when she's giving him water. He's like, Karen, you messed up. You messed up. So I don't know if that drove Heather into Fisk's arms working wise, but she is now going to be an anti-vigilante. Wow, that rhymes. Task force. She is the psychologist or something, in charge of talking about anti-vigilantes for New York City. I can't say that with a straight face. Honestly, I would not have cared if you could have had Heather, not his girlfriend in episode 1, just thrown in, like, here you go. You could have had her built up for a couple of episodes. The whole show, pace-wise, was just on light speed, man. If we had the additional 4 episodes of a Netflix run, usually it was 13, you would have more time to tell this story in a meaningful way. Also, you're not constricted to time on streaming. Make your show as long as you want, within reason. Within reason. Don't draw out stuff just to draw out stuff, but if you don't have anything else to say in your show, story-wise, and this is what we got, that was way too quick. The pacing in the entire season was way too quick, man. Seriously, I broke my neck 15 times trying to keep up with it all. It's almost like the deadline was coming up. This is the gap in entertainment in streaming that they needed to fill for Disney Plus. They're like, we need to fill this space before Andor comes out. What do we have? Daredevil. Okay, when can we get it done? As quickly as possible. Okay, let's get that going because we need something to push to sell subscriptions. And so it just seems like half thought out. And it's very sad because you can see that they care in episodes 1, 8, and 9. You can tell that they care and they love those characters. It's just, everything is just so fast. So fast. So this entire show, I believe, could have been maybe 4 episodes. We could have gotten this story in, I think, 4 episodes. Cut out a lot of the Muse stuff and go back to the story that episode 1 was saying. I think you could get all of this in 4 episodes and then have another bunch of episodes after that. 9 episodes to really flesh out this story. You could have had it. You could have had White Tiger. You could have had that Marvel MCU part in there. Man, you could have had that in like 2 episodes, maybe 3, plus Fisk taking over. If you really just wanted to talk about the Punisher unit, and that was the main bad guy the entire time, you could have gotten there a lot different way. You could have gotten there a different way. And again, I think it was a rush. I think it was the reuse that really was detrimental to this show in the long run, and them trying to make things work. But man, it just doesn't. It just doesn't. And I feel like they maybe they're trying to make up for it by dropping an F-bomb once in a while or having extreme violence all the time. And it's just, it feels ping pong emotional wise, especially when Matt's like yelling him not to kill people and then all of a sudden he's just ripping people apart. And there's another way to do it. There's another way to do it. Like, you could have had Punisher in that scene play by Matt's rules. You could have had him play by Matt's rules. I don't know if you brought him in just to have him be brutal and stuff, but as a favor to Karen, as a favor to Matt, he could play by Matt's rules in that scene, you know? But alas, we have him blowing people away, and it's just, again, emotional ping pong of killing all them. I guess because they're terrible cops, terrible people, and you saw that in the episodes prior, that we wouldn't care that they're getting demolished and garroted, disemboweled. But here we are, and I kind of do care because I'm on, you know, you're supposed to be on the hero's side of like, try your best to do things. I mean, he tries his best to kill them, I guess. And yeah, and Frank's not a fan of them. They're a fan of his. You see that in the final episode, which is kind of out of nowhere too, to be honest. It's like, we're a big fan. You have to tell me. Yeah, we're already showing me by wearing this skull on your vests, but you have to tell me then I'm your biggest fan. You should. What's the point of that? What's the point of capturing him? Is it because he's gonna get put into Fisk's thing? I think he wanted to kind of turn him, but that scene, man, you couldn't. Why didn't they have somebody else interrogating him, trying to turn him? You know, maybe he starts thinking about it, like all this stuff, like, yeah, man, I can actually go after all the criminals that I want to with these guys, and with these guys, maybe I can do a lot better. But alas, no, he is just the, you know, F you, you guys are phonies, you're fakers. And so he is thrown into a cage, which looks like a chicken coop. Those cages are not built out to be, I don't know, it didn't look very expensive, looked a little cheap. In my opinion, it looks like chicken coops, but alas, he's in there and he's locked up. So he's locked up vigilante. So now we know that he is not part of the army. And what is this army? Matt says they need an army. Is that really the Defenders? A lot of people are speculating online. I'm actually recording this the morning after. A lot of people are speculating online that the Defenders are coming back, and I'm like, we kind of already saw Josie and Cherry and the detective lady from that one episode, and some other cops, and Karen. So is that our army? Better not be. Better not be. We need something else. You know, Frank's gone, so he's taken out of the picture. So we need some other people. So the Defenders make sense. I just don't know if that's gonna happen. Quick note as well. The music for this season of Daredevil Born Again was very distracting.
and I felt like out of place. There were many times where the mood of the music and the volume of it was just absolutely too loud. Too loud. The theme, I think, is great, but the overall music while the show is playing is distracting and all over the place. Just, I don't know, over dramatic, it seems. I can't put my finger on it, but it's just off. It's just off. And I do appreciate the Newton Bros. I do. But for some reason, just not hitting the mark for me, man.
So yeah, man, this season, it went by very quickly with not a lot too much happening. I mean, a lot of stuff did happen, but it's just like, it didn't really impact. And the whole Muse stuff, I'm still let down from all of that. Shouldn't have burned him, should not have burned him in 2 episodes, basically. Like, it's very, very sad. Of course he can come back. We're in the MCU, it's comic books, he can come back. Oh, man. It's the worst season. It's the worst season, and you should have Batgirled all the footage that you had before, in my opinion. In my opinion. You should have Batgirled it, you should have reshot. I don't know what's more damaging. Here's the question that I posed to them. What's more damaging, the loss of money or the loss of fans' confidence? You're trying to bring a bunch of Netflix Daredevil fans to get Disney Plus memberships or Hulu memberships or whatever, and they see this. I wonder how many are going to be coming back, because if we're looking at the numbers too, this show is not charting. This show is very niche. I'm hoping, you guys, that you can bring it back in season 2. You can bring it up, you can take your time, you can tell the story that you want to tell with it. I really do hope so. I hope so. And you can keep it cheap. You can keep it cheap. The show doesn't need to be 250 million freaking dollars. Acolyte, unless it needs to be somehow, but you see them shooting in New York City. You see them shooting in real life locations. Like, that all keeps the cost down, doesn't it? I don't know. They gotta keep it cheap. And if you keep it cheap, then you're able to push out more shows. And it's crazy too to see Steven DeKnight talk online about how if they had the money for the CG, they would have used it, which is an interesting take coming from the creator of the show itself. If they had the money for the CG, they would have used it. I feel like it's better that they didn't. I feel like it's better. I feel like the Daredevil Netflix show has aged more than this, better than this show is going to age because of the CG stuff. Like the CG Daredevil running across the rooftops, it doesn't look good. It doesn't pass the Uncanny Valley. Versus seeing a dude doing parkour on rooftops looks better. So absolutely bonkers, the mind of the creators, and maybe it's because it's easier for them to do in CG that they would just do it if they had the money because it's easier. Do you want to do something because it's easier? That's a good question. Do you want to do something just because it's easier? The question should be, which one is better? Which one looks better? Which one is better for the audience? That should be the question. And I hope that's the question that the new creators are asking every single day on set while filming in New York City and other locations. So yeah, man, it's very sad to see this show where it is. It's very sad to see. I had very high expectations and it really kills me, but the show's season 2, this could have been a 4-part miniseries. This could have been 1.5 episodes, 4 episodes, and then kick it into a full season 2. Just cut out all the fat, all the crap from the old show, make your new show, create a limited series, and then do season 2. That's what it could have done, but alas, we didn't get it, and very sad. That's my rambling on the entire season of Daredevil Born Again. That's my entire rambling on episode 9. What are your thoughts? What did you think of the show? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you liked the video, feel free to subscribe. Also, feel free to smash the like button. Really does help out the channel get pushed up to new people, to new friends. And yeah, or next week. Hope you're ready. I'm kind of scared. Thank you so much, and have a good day.